In this video, I'm going to show you how to make large clear ice cubes like these, and also how to make small clear ice cubes like these. Alright, if you want to make clear ice using my method, here's the materials that I used. First of all, I used a Igloo Legend 5-quart cooler. Here I've removed the top, and then 2 each of these 4 tray large ice cube makers, and I cut off the tab and cut off all the panels, and these will go in the bottom to hold up the trays that we're going to be putting on top. The ones on top are these Tovolo 6-cube tray ice cube makers. 2 of those we're going to need. Here's the way it looks when it comes out of the box. No punches, and it's got a lip on the side here. So we cut the lip off, and then I made a template here so I knew where to punch the holes, and I punched 3 holes each in the trays using my punch over here, my grommet punch. So I'm going to need 2 of those, and those are going to just set on top of the other trays that we set on the bottom. So this is pretty much assembled. All it needs is water now. You fill the water to the top to just below the top of the upper trays, and then you freeze it for 24 hours. Alright, once you get all your materials constructed, you simply put them in your cooler, and everything fits nicely. You can use tap water. I found that filtered water, bottled water, tap water, they all taste the same. So your results might vary, but that was my experience. So basically we fill this with water. I'll save you from the filling right now. But you want to fill it just below the top. Okay, just a quick tip here. Once you've filled it with water, just kind of shake it a little bit, and if there's any bubbles or air trapped below the surface there, it'll release and come up, and so it won't get in your ice cubes. It's been 24 hours. Let's get our ice cubes out. Here we go. Here's the results. Using a 3-hole punch, which is the right number of punches. 5 is too much and 1 is not enough. This looks really nice and clear. Let's get it out of there and take a closer look at it. Here I put my cooler in the sink, upside down, waiting for this ice to drop down to the bottom. You'll know it when you hear it, and you can run some water on the top too to help cool it down a little bit and facilitate the ice dropping. The ice is dropped, and you can see it's just partially frozen. What I want to do is just get it up on its side so we can kind of see that it's frozen. Well, actually it feels like the ice cubes are not frozen all the way, even though that was 24 hours. But let's get this ice off. You just tap it around the edges of the tray, and then the bottom part will usually disengage. I've cleared off all the extra ice that was connected to the ice cube trays, and now these, they just pop out of here really easy. You can tell they're very clear. They're not as big as they would have been if I'd left them in the freezer longer. 24 hours usually does it. Now this one is big enough. The other ones were not. Let's look at these. Come out of these trays really nice. So in this tray, yeah, that's a bigger one. These tend to be a little bit bigger than the other side for some reason, but you can leave it in for a little bit more than 24 hours. You know, go to 28, but don't go too long, or it'll be harder to clear out the excess ice. It's not impossible though, it just takes a little bit longer. So here we have the clear ice, and I've added it to my scotch, and it's going to melt very slow, and it's going to taste just as it would without ice, just a little bit colder, maybe a little bit of water added as the ice cube slowly melts, but there will not be any off taste of any kind. So there it is. Hope you enjoyed the video. All right, let's say you're really enjoying these large square ice cubes that we made, and they are really good. But sometimes you want to have small squares. You just would prefer to have a smaller ice cube. So we're going to do a quick video here on how to make up the small ice cubes. So what you have, instead of the large, have two smalls. And in order to make these smalls, you start with these silicone trays, set of two, and you have to cut them down in order for them to fit into the cooler. So I'm just going to put these supports on the bottom. You'll still need to use those. And then you'll cut this down to this size. So basically it looks like cutting off the end here, and also cutting off the lip. Once you get those cut off, then you do need to make a hole, one punch in the bottom of each of the small cube trays, and I used my grommet punch for that. You can't drill these out, at least I wasn't able to, because the hole just seals back up again. But anyways, you'll need one hole in the bottom of each. Trim it off. Then that fits into your cooler the same way that the large cubes fit in. And then you're ready to make some small ice cubes. Same thing, you'd fill it just to near the top of the tray, freeze it for 24 hours, and you'll get 24 small ice cubes. Okay, and here's what those small cubes look like. Makes a little bit more noise when you jingle it, which I kind of like. The other thing I notice is that when you take the ice cubes out of the freezer, if you run a little bit of water on the top of them, it'll kind of get the frost off, and I think they just look better in the glass without that frost. Also, when your ice cubes have been in your freezer for about an hour or so, take them out, just bang them around a little bit so they're not stuck together. Then they'll be ready when you're ready for them, and they won't be all stuck together. Well, that's it. These are the small cubes. I hope you enjoyed both the small cubes and the large cubes. Enjoy.